guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Tonight we're back here with SCP Explained. Tonight, we got an interesting battle. And this time, it's Cartoon Cat, aka... Well, yeah, Cartoon Cat taking on SCP-096, aka Shy Guy. So, yeah, this is gonna be an interesting fight to say the least. So, I'm not sure who's gonna win. Will it be Shy Guy or Cartoon Cat? I mean, you got Cartoon face up with Cartoon Cat, so seems like it could be a victory for them, but who knows? I mean, we'll see. So without any further ado, be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Let's see who wins.
Everyone in the sleepy mountain town had heard stories about the abandoned mall and the malevolent creature that lurked in the wreckage there. There had been enough missing persons cases, lost children, teenagers sneaking out to explore and never returning home, urban explorers who stumbled out of the darkness disheveled and traumatized. With an eyewitness account, no one wanted to believe. There wasn't anyone left in the surrounding area willing to set foot in that cursed place. But that didn't stop opportunistic out-of-towners from paying the occasional visit, especially if they felt like there was money to be made in those crumbling corporate walls. Grant and Jason, the hosts of up-and-coming investigative reality show Ghostly Happenings, were two such visitors. When they heard the rumors about an abandoned mall haunted by some sort of dark presence, blamed for the disappearance of local children, they packed up their van, picked up their underpaid cameraman Derek, and headed straight for the infamous building.
Are you sure we're allowed to be here?
Derek asked shakily as he began filming. Nope, Grant answered cheerfully. It's part of the fun, Jason laughed.
Look, man, this place has been left to rot by the city. No one cares if we're shooting some footage. Besides, worry less about the cops and more about the ghost of the mall.
Grant grinned.
Ooh, not funny,
Derek grumbled.
Not now.
Come on, serious faces, we're rolling.
Jason nudged his co-host,
Alright,
and the two snapped into their on-camera personalities.
Once a bustling center of suburban American life, this shopping mall has transformed into a den of terror.
Grant's voice dropped into a lower register, his expression intense.
Locals swap stories of something inhuman that calls this place home.
Something that doesn't take kindly to trespassers, Jason added.
A ghost? A demon? Just an urban legend? That's what we're here to find out.
Grant pulled out an EMF reader, which began beeping as he turned it on.
There seems to be a lot of activity in here already. I'm picking up something. Don't know if you folks at home can see this, but the meter's going crazy,
Jason exclaimed. It was a fake meter, of course. One that they rigged up to beep and react when Grant pressed certain hidden buttons. But the audience didn't need to know that. They were tuning in for story, for spectacle, not for the truth. If they wanted that, they could flip over to the Nature Channel and watch some lions chasing a gazelle. On this show, they were chasing pure entertainment. They continued.
Yeah, that's a lot of, like, ghost channels, I feel. Or at least most, like, ghost stuff, you know? Like, sure, they claim to look for evidence, but more often than not, it's just entertainment, you know? I mean, sure, they might capture some, but again, they're just entertainment value, I guess. I'm sorry that it sounds harsh, but that's just how I feel. Anyway.
Continued deeper into the building, taking in the massive echoey space, the dusty storefronts, the beams of rotten wood strewn across the ground, the rats that skittered across the floor. It was the perfect creepy atmosphere. Maybe a little too perfect, a little too creepy.
What was that?
Derek practically jumped out of his skin, spinning around to look at something behind him.
What happened?
Hey, stay on us,
Grant snapped.
I saw something moving back there,
Derek insisted. It was a rat, Jason rolled his eyes. There are tons of them in here. Derek shook his head. No, it wasn't a rat. It was way too big.
Okay, a raccoon then. Come on, get it together. We've been in way worse locations than this. Remember that old tuberculosis hospital?
Grant shuddered. God, now that was scary.
This is nothing.
Well, not nothing. Jason elbowed his partner. I did a good job scouting this place, right? Grant was about to answer when his foot bumped something on the ground. He looked down and saw a Polaroid camera next to a long, empty water bottle and a small backpack.
Oh man, get a shot of this!
Derek obliged while Jason took a closer look.
This must have belonged to one of the urban explorer types who came in here.
He unzipped the backpack, rummaging around.
Hey, look, photos. Tons of them.
He dumped the pictures out onto the ground.
Think he got some spirit photography done before he bit the dust? Well, might as well see.
Grant joined Jason on the ground, sifting through the photos as Derek watched anxiously.
Boring, deer, dog, sunset.
Oh, wait a minute. He stopped, holding up one specific Polaroid.
Oh, I know
this
that. That's
is the money
96.
shot right here. Derek, zoom in on this. All three
Don't
men
do it.
looked at
Oh,
the picture,
God.
illuminated by the camera's light. It showed a tall, long-limbed, pale creature, vaguely humanoid in
Yeah,
shape,
those three ain't
but at
going
the same
out
time
alive.
distinctly
Or anyone who
not
watches
like
the video.
human. Its mouth was stretched wide in a wordless screech.
Yep.
Its eyes bloodshot and wild. Its long, tapered fingers were reaching towards the camera. Damn, that's spooky. Jason laughed, a bit of nervousness creeping into his voice. How do you think he set this up? Grant asked. What if it's real? Derek swallowed the lump in his throat. Don't be an idiot, Grant scoffed. But then, from the outside, not 100 feet away, they heard a scream. Ear-splittingly loud, filled with rage, pain, and
Here it
animalistic
comes.
instinct. It was like nothing any of them had ever heard before. The scream was followed by the sound of splitting wood, branches crashing to the ground,
And here he comes.
and horrifyingly, the sound of something breaking down a nearby wall. What did you do? Jason backed away from the sound.
Me? You opened the backpack?
Grant shot back.
Guys, I think we need to get out of here.
Derek watched in wide-eyed terror as two pale hands ripped a hole in the wall in front of them, making an opening for that pale, hairless head from the photograph to poke through. All three men prepared to make a break for it and run for their lives, but as soon as the creature saw them, it was already too late. With another scream, SCP-096 sprinted toward them, grabbing each man and throwing them to the ground. The camera shattered into pieces from the impact, and Derek skidded painfully across the ground. As he rolled onto his side to try and push back up to his feet, he caught a glimpse of the monster opening its mouth impossibly wide and descending on his bosses. He really didn't want to focus on what happened next, but suffice to say there was nothing of them left afterwards. Derek tried his best to escape, but he was no match for the brute strength and speed of SCP-096.
Yep.
From the moment he saw its face, his fate was sealed. There was no escape. Soon the beeping EMF meter, the scattered photographs, and the broken pieces of the camera were the only thing left of the crew from ghostly happenings. Their devoted fans would never get another episode, but at least one being in the abandoned mall could rest easy now. SCP-096 was safe again. No one was living who had seen its face. It slowly crawled back to the hole it had made in the wall, ready to return to the forest and climb back up the mountain. There it could curl up beneath a tree and stay there for as long as it wanted. But as SCP-096 reached the hole in the wall, where it had once been able to see night sky, stars, and the trees in the distance, there was only blackness. It was as if something dark was stretching over the opening, blocking the outside world from view. 096 reached out a hand to push the blockage out of the way, but whatever it was, slithered away from the touch faster than the pale hand could move. The wriggling darkness crept back into the building, weaving in and out of the shadows
Cartoon
as
Cat's into the arena.
SCP-096 watched it curiously. Whatever it was, it hadn't looked at the creature's face yet. It wasn't sure if this thing even had eyes. But then, stretching out of the darkness and into view, was a garish face with wide, white eyes with massive pupils, a round nose, and a wide, wide mouth, stretched into a toothy grimace that might have once looked like a smile. This was the creature that had made the mall its home, the apex predator of this biosphere, and it was staring directly at SCP-096's face. Its face. With a shriek, 096 flew into a primal rage, clawing at the cat-like creature, but before 096 could reach it, the thing was gone. Where was it? Where did it go? 096 roared, tearing at the floor, ripping up the tile and gouging long, deep scratches in the concrete beneath. A sound in the distance drew 096's attention, and it bolted in the direction of the noise, swinging at any obstacle in its path as it went. It ripped down a banner advertising free frozen yogurt samples, crushed an empty cell phone kiosk, and threw a gumball machine to the floor with a crash. It would rip the entire mall apart if it had to, if that was what it took to destroy the being that had caught a glimpse of its face and disappeared. Then, 096 could see it. That face. That wide-eyed, grinning face. It sprinted toward the face as fast as it could. The cartoon cat was looking at 096, not from a place in the room, but from behind the screen of a television in the electronics store window. Somehow defying the laws of physics and reality, it had made its way into the TV. 096.
Yeah, this is gonna be a tough fight for SCP-096. Cartoon Cat's pretty much cartoon physics on their side, so I'm not too sure how well this is gonna end well, or go, but yeah, this is gonna be a disaster. This is gonna be brutal. Anyway, so, will Cartoon Cat claim a victim, or will 096 scratch out the face? Let's see.
Didn't pause to ponder the logic of this. There was no room for critical thought. There was
he's
only the
not much
need
of a-
to shred,
There you
to
go.
consume, to destroy. It burst through the window, sending shards of glass in every direction, and reared back to attack the screen. It was so focused on its singular task that it didn't notice the long black arms snaking across the floor, winding around its feet. All of a sudden, 096 lost its balance as its legs were pulled right out from under it, those stretchy arms dragging it into the TV screen itself. When 096 regained consciousness, it was in a place it did not recognize. Gone was the inside of the mall or the familiar forest and mountains outside. Instead, SCP-096 was in some sort of hand-drawn world, a massive house with a hallway that seemed to go on forever, lined with infinite doors leading to who knew where. The floor tipped and tilted at odd angles, and the geometry made no three-dimensional sense. It was dizzying and deeply off-putting. SCP-096 had no frame of reference to compare it to, but a human witness might have noticed that this place looked like something out of an old cartoon, from the days of Steamboat Willie and the like. SCP-096 did not think such a thing. It only knew that it was in an unfamiliar place, one that felt threatening, though there were no visible threats, and it knew that it still hadn't gotten its hands on the creature that had seen its face. All along the walls between each door, there were clocks in the shape of that horrible cat, eyes ticking back and forth with each second, wide smile mocking SCP-096 as if to say, "Try and find me." SCP-096 would not be discouraged. There was no room in its mind for that sort of thing. There was only the singular goal of finding the cartoon cat and tearing it limb from rubber hose limb. Psychological warfare would have no effect. Still, Cartoon Cat would give it his best shot. This was his world, and he could do whatever he wanted here. Cartoon Cat poked his head out through a random doorway, waving to 096 with one of his puffy white-gloved hands. As 096 wailed and began to give chase, Cartoon Cat slammed the door shut, only to open another door down the hall and poke his head out of that one. He did the same trick over and over, jerking SCP-096 around from end to end of the ever-expanding animated hallway. After some time passed, however, it appeared SCP-096 was not going to get tired, and was not going to give up hope of catching its prey. It was time to end this. Cartoon Cat wrapped one long arm around SCP-096's neck, restraining it against the wall, and began to squeeze tighter and tighter. But nothing happened. SCP-096 did not collapse, did not react at all except to tear at the arm around its neck until it broke free. Then it returned to the relentless pursuit, tearing door frames apart, pulling up floorboards, punching through walls. Every time it dealt damage to the environment, the space filled itself back in, an unseen pen scribbling in the gaps in the floorboards, sealing up the holes in the walls. Two powerful beings going back and forth, locked in a seemingly equal-matched battle. Cartoon Cat tried to destroy SCP-096 in a myriad of ways. He tried to rip the beast apart, to snap its neck, to do any manner of unspeakable violent acts it had done before with great sadistic glee. But this pale abomination would not fold, would not break. This wasn't going to be any fun if there was no ending, and if 096 kept destroying one of Cartoon Cat's favorite pocket worlds. That was quite enough. Cartoon Cat grabbed hold of 096's arms and legs, the creature thrashing viciously as he did so, and threw it into the blank space just beyond the illustrated world. Back in the mall, SCP-096 crashed back to Earth. It was about to resume its search for Cartoon Cat when suddenly a bright light illuminated its face. A police officer stood a few feet away, holding a flashlight.
"Excuse me, you can't be in here. You're trespassing."
The officer started to warn, but his words were interrupted when 096 began to scream. Soon, he would be screaming too. Now go and check out
Huh. So, pretty much a draw here. Yikes. That's gotta hurt. So, pretty much Cartoon said, like, I give up. I'll let you go. Huh. So, no clear winner. That's a first. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. Until next time, like, subscribe for more. I'll see you guys around. Adios.